Zentangles, Mucha 4x4 Zentangle project for swap. This is a project using Mucha Zentangle designs on a 4x4 base. The first segment is a show and tell of my finishes. The next segment is an introduction to the project and a look at some of my practice Zentangles. The last segment is a process segment where I fast forward through the making of the 4x4 Zentangles. No, I am not a Zentangle expert, and I sure do not claim to be one. But I learned a lot about Zentangle patterns and the Mucha style on this project. Come, watch me scribble. Watch me Zentangle. Okay, I'm getting ready to finish this project up. I did a little bit more to the ones, I chose the ones that I'm going to send for swap and the ones that I'm going to keep. This is the first one that I did, and all I did to this was sign it on the back and glaze it. I'm going to be keeping this one. This was more of an experiment for me just to get started. And then this is the first steampunk one that I did. I'm going to have a problem with the lighting, I think. The glare, because I've glazed these and you'll see some glare off of them. But I like this one, but as far as being steampunk Mucha, what I was working for, I'm not sure I got the Mucha pods in there like I wanted, but I like the very steampunkish elements on this. So this is a keeper too. All I did was on the back here, you can see where I was experimenting with getting some steampunk elements in there, but I just signed it. So these two are keepers for me. They've been glazed and signed on both sides. Now these I've shown you in another segment. These are my finishes that I'm going to swap. I'm going to send her 3 of them just because I'm feeling generous this month. But I was not going to put the ladies on the front. I was not going to do that, but then I thought, well, they really do need something. So I went ahead and I've glazed them on both the front and the back. And then these lady images come from Graphic 45's Couture collection, C-O-U-T-U-R-E collection. And I just fussy cut them out. This is the second one I did. This is the one where I started using the color and using the rusty hinge in here. And there's where I thought, gosh, I'd like to go to a steampunk. So, you'll see this earlier in my video where I finished it up, but I did not have these 2 ladies on it. But I'm going to send it to her with my swap partner with the ladies on it. And then here's the back. It's been all glazed and signed. You can see I have very bold Mucha designs on the back on all 3 of these I do. Now here's the steampunk one, and I'm really happy with how this came out in the end. And here again I put the Graphic 45 fussy cut the ladies out of Graphic 45 paper, and then I just placed them inside of the steampunk Mucha image. If I can get this a little bit closer for you. And then on the back it just looks like this. Let's bring this other one up closer for you. I'm really happy with how these turned out in the long run. And then the other one that I'm going to send to her, here again, I've glazed it on both the front and the back, and I have the big bold Mucha Zentangle on the back, and just the pod. And then on the front, here again, I cut out Graphic 45 from the Couture collection, C-O-U-T-U-R-E. A lady here and a lady there. And this is the one that I did on black gessoed background with white ink, and then I use some liquid acrylic light blue. And then here's the back. So here they are, all finished, and I even have two to keep for myself as a reminder of this this very fun project. These three at the top I'm going to send away, and then these two at the bottom will be keepers. Now the next segment of the project will be an introduction to the project, and I'll show you some of my beginning attempts at Zentangle. Hi, I'm getting ready to start a new project. I'm in the AFTCM. You've heard me talk about Art for the Creative Mind. We do a lot of art swaps there, and one of the things we do is a 4x4. Now I have this 4 inches wide, 4 inches tall square, and then I just use black gesso on it. I have to do something to the back. I have 4 of these to practice with. I have another one down here. This is the one I'm going to use. Now the theme of our 4x4 this month is Zentangle, and it's the Mucha, M-U-C-H-A. It's pronounced Mucha Zentangle. And I am not a Zentangle expert. I'm very much a beginner. I bought this book at Goodwill. It's a nice thick book. I use it to scribble in the front. You can see I've done some. I go to the Dollar Tree store and I buy my Sharpies a little bit cheaper. For one Sharpie is $1, whereas at Michael's it's like $1.49 or something. And then these permanent markers are like laundry type markers. You can get them 2 for $1 at the Dollar Tree. And they're okay if you just want to use something to scribble with. And that's what I've been doing in here. Now this whole book is not, I've done other doodling that I'm not going to show you in the front. But this is my Mucha Zentangle, my latest one. And then I've done some others where I was playing with maybe putting scissors in the center of them. And I'm okay with these. These are really not finished in here. These are more finished. These are just over here. I skip a couple pages because my ink flows through. But I kind of like that anyway. But these over here are just very organic in nature, and then they're just filled in with different patterns, different doodle patterns. Here I tried to put a scissors in the center because, as you all know, I like scissors a lot. I do a lot of art projects with scissors, and I wanted to work it in with the 4x4, but I'm not really happy with it as this, and I want to get this done, so I think I'm going to go with something more like this on the one that I swap out. So, and then I'll show you a couple of the others that I was playing with. I guess this is, my ink is getting pretty dry here. I was still playing with the scissors in there and playing with just doing some doodling. That's the end of that. This one I was playing with color, and I don't know how much you can see of it. I had a face in there, and I didn't like the face, so I scribbled it out, darkened it out. I was just playing to see what I could do with color. Oh, here I was playing with drawing some pods. Now I was playing with the scissors again in here. You see, I've got a lot of starts, a lot of no, for some reason that reminds me of a duck head. 2 ducks heads there. I'm not really happy with these. A lot of starts, a lot of trying to figure out just what a mucha is and how to get it on my page. So these are kind of non I won't call them failures, they're just scribbles, getting my bearings on the pages. These I did faces in. Now I did not like these when I first did them, but I was showing them to some other people and they really liked them. And I started looking at them, well, maybe they're not so bad after all. And I think what I need to do on this page is do something like what I did over here and bring the designer out to the border and fill in the border on this page. And I think what I don't really like about these is this does not remind me of mucha as much, or even these. I was getting more into just doodling, and like these are just leaves around there. I don't have this swirl inner and outer enclosure of the Mucha Zentangle. But it was fun to scribble with them. I've kind of given up on doing pretty faces inside of my squares. In order for me to do that, or even with the scissors, I want a bigger piece. I want a 9 by 12 piece to work with. So I experimented with, here's another one that I did. And you can see I was scribbling over here. As we go back this way, you'll see more of my first attempts, which are really clumsy. I'm not too unhappy with this. I started filling it in here, and then I ran out of ink in my pen, and I stopped. So this is okay with me. But now you're see, these are some of my more clumsy. I guess you have to go through the clumsy attempts to, I feel like this is maybe an intestine. So I was trying a lady figure there. I didn't like that at all. So I tried a flower, and I tried another little half doll here. These are clumsy in my thinking. And this is not mucha here. This is more, I'm getting more back into Zentangle itself, just trying different patterns. So I'm going to stop there. So what I'm going to do, I want to go back to this page for inspiration, is I want to translate this over to here. Not the entire page. Not the entire page. I want to translate this over to here. I almost feel like taking a portion of it off and just gluing it on maybe the back. I could do that. I might do that in the end. Tear these out. I might do that before I send it off. But I want to do something on here similar to this type of mucha design, and then when I go in and fill it in. Now this is easier in my mind because it's easier to get that big broad sweep of the inner and outer of the pods, how, you know, it goes like that and it swirls around like that. On here it's you have to work smaller. So that's a little bit harder for me to do on my 4x4s. I struggled with it in here. You see how I tried to come up. I think this is probably my more successful one. So another 4x4. See, I'm struggling with getting them. To me, this should be a mucha for myself, how I work. And maybe it's because I'm a beginner. I don't claim to be an expert at Zentangle. And I'm not even sure this could be qualified as Zentangle officially, but it is for my purposes. So I'm going to try to translate that on here using my white Signal broad uniball pen. So that's where I'm going with this. I'm going to work off of here. And let's see. I'm going to turn, oh, the other thing I wanted to say was I've got this acrylic, pearlescent liquid acrylic ink, and my dip pen, and my different nibs here. I might try to use these on some of these practice pieces. We'll see how it goes with the signal pen. Then I'll probably glaze this before I send it out. Now I'm not even going to sketch on here first. I do want to use this as inspiration though, so I'm going to open this back up. Now I will fast forward through doing the first Zentangle, then stop and review it, and then go on to the second Zentangle. Hi, I'm back, and it is the next day. Yesterday I did this black and white Mucha Zentangle. I am using one of my test Zentangles, Mucha Zentangles, that I did in my book. I showed those to you earlier. And I like this, but I don't like it. I like how the white formed the outline of the lines, but that white pen does not do a good job of filling in. I tried to go back in and use my pearlescent liquid acrylic on it, and that worked, but not to my satisfaction. So I'll probably just keep this one as a trial one. I'll put it in my swap box that contains all my swap projects. I have another one that's not gessoed, and I have my black Sharpie pen, which has, it says it's a fine point, but I don't see it being that fine. To me, it's more of a medium point. And I have my Faber-Castell. This is a bold, but I actually see this as being more of a, hold it still for you, more of a fine point than the fine point of the Sharpie. So I'm going to use these two. Now what I don't like about this, or what I think I could do differently, is I have my Mucha coming, the pod coming up this way and then in this way. And then I went in and did some more in there. But I think what I'm going to do is do a Mucha this way, such as this, but instead of going in here, I'm just going to do the outline, and then I'll come back with another Mucha pod coming this way. So I have one Mucha pod facing that way on this one, and on the other one I want one facing this way and one facing that way. And I'm going to still keep them quite large, and I'm not going to try to go to the same amount of detail on here. I think I have this is a small space for my pinpoints, and I think if I just did the designs in there but make them larger, it will be better on this smaller space, because you won't have to squint your eyes to see them. So that's where I'm going on this one. Okay, I've been playing with this Mucha Zentangle. This was the first one that I did. I did it on a black gessled 4x4 with my white gel pen. And then I did this one, which I like a lot better because I got the pods better and the actual Mucha part in here. And then I went in with Zentangle patterns, and then I colored it, and I really like that Rusty Hinge Distress Marker. This is Ranger's Rusty Hinge Distress Marker, and I kind of like the steampunk effect of this pattern in here, so I thought, well, I wonder if I can do a steampunk Mucha. So I've been playing with it, and I think I got a steampunk Zentangle, and I sort of got the Mucha pod in here. I started and I went up, and I wanted that to be like the head of a screw right here, and so I went up doing these gears, and then when I came back I did the inner gears and came back to like that. But it's hard to identify it as a Mucha, but I think it's very Zentangle pattern, and I think it's very steampunkish. So I'm going to try it one more time. I find that my pinpoints are very almost too wide to do. This is a Sharpie pen, and I've been using this Faber-Castell, which has a finer pinpoint. But they're almost too wide for this 4x4 that we're working on the size. Now, I did not find that with this, so I might go back and do another on black with my white, but I will not color it in with the white because I find that to be very blotchy. I might use my acrylic ink. But I also got out these fine point Sharpies that I bought a few weeks ago, and I've had them and I haven't opened them yet, so we'll do that right here. Of course, when you're doing it online, it's always the hardest to get out. Okay, I think I was scribbling on the back of this one, so let's see how... Oh, I think I like that a lot better. So, I'm thinking I want to draw I'm going to practice. I'm going to do another steampunk. And let's just set these aside. Put those up there. That one there. Let's try... Now I want the pod to come up and take almost all of the paper, but I also want to do steampunkish. Thank you for watching me do these Zentangles. I hope that you've enjoyed watching me go through the entire process of making them. And if you have, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to be doing more of these in the future. I will see you on the next page.